There is an artist by the name of Chris Ofili based in London. Chris completed his Bachelor of Fine Arts in 1991 at the Chelsea College of Arts, and 2 years later completed his Masters of Fine Arts at the Royal College of Art in London. When Chris was 23 years old, he was given the opportunity to visit Zimbabwe through a scholarship. He had an odd interest in the elephant dung he saw while he was there, and he managed to bring some home. He began using it in his artwork, which drew lots of attention to him. He used the dung to either create feet for a painting or he would directly place it on a canvas. Being heavily inspired by music, Chris viewed hip-hop and jazz as a celebration of Black culture. Although Chris Ofili is known for many of his works such as No Woman, No Cry, Aphrodisia, Pimpin' Ain't Easy, and The Upper Room, the piece that sparked the most attention is titled The Holy Virgin Mary. Created in 1996, it consists of glitter, resin, oil paint, elephant dung, and collaged images. In 1997, a well-known art collector by the name of Charles Saatchi held a show called Sensation and included the Holy Virgin Mary. The exhibit opened in London and then opened in Berlin a year later. Both locations had positive reactions to the exhibit, but once the exhibit opened in New York, there was outrage. When he was 30 years old, this painting helped him win the Turner Prize, and he was the first Black artist to do so. That year, he held solo shows in New York, London, and Berlin. When he was 35, he represented Britain at the Venice Biennale. Though his artwork sparked a lot of controversy, it also helped him gain support and positive attention around the world. The Holy Virgin Mary is a unique piece that was looked at very poorly and was almost defaced by an older American citizen. The events that followed the inclusion of the Holy Virgin Mary in the Sensation exhibit started at the Brooklyn Museum in New York City.
Thank you, everyone, for being here at the Brooklyn Museum in this fine city today. I'd like to direct your attention for a moment to this bold painting by British artist Chris Ofili. It's a multi-medium piece incorporating acrylic, oil, polyester resin, paper collage, glitter, matte pens, and most notably, elephant dung on a canvas. This modern interpretation of the Holy Virgin Mary is set on a glittering background of orange resin, similar to the gold leaf historically used on depictions of religious icons. This painting is majestic yet intensely sexually charged. The cherubim surrounding the Virgin Mary are actually clippings from pornographic magazines of women's buttocks. Another interesting element of the work is the artist's use of elephant dung in both the composition of the painting and its use as a support for the painting.
Excuse me? Yeah, hi. I'm Carol Becker. I'm here with the church. Yeah, I just have a few complaints.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Great. I guess my first problem is the pornographic cutouts. Is it really necessary to sexualize the Virgin Mary? Because that's clearly what's happening here, not only thanks to the cutouts, but also the way her shirt falls down to reveal her chest. I just find it pretty offensive.
Is that all?
Oh no, this painting, can I call it a painting, if half of it is really just elephant dung, is awful. Look at how Ofili's representation of Mary completely defies tradition. The mouth is clearly a parody of African ones, and is even more clearly a dig at the church. I can't help but feel like this is an attempt to call us out.
An attempt to call you out for the assumed whiteness of biblical figures?
Exactly.
Well, I suppose everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Let's move on.
What do I think of the painting? Well, for starters, it's incredibly offensive. It's plainly obvious. This attack on our Blessed Mother Mary is completely unforgivable. Elephant dung smeared and splattered all over her. It's utterly obscene. Chris Ofili has insulted the entire Catholic religion. I believe the Brooklyn Museum must take down the display. In fact, all donated funds towards the museum will be halted until I see that it is done.
The backlash of the Holy Virgin Mary in New York City happened in 1999. The constant outrage seemed to have shaken up Chris. He has not made any statements about the controversy, nor has he yet come forward to defend himself. Yet tonight, we will have the opportunity to finally hear from Chris Ofili himself. Everyone has been dying to know why you use elephant dung in your artwork.
In Zimbabwe, I discovered elephant dung and experimented with using it as an aesthetic medium, sticking it onto the surfaces of my canvases. As I later recall, it was a crass way of bringing the landscape into the painting, as well as a nod to modernist art history through the dung being a found object.
That's incredibly interesting, especially when paired with the Virgin Mary. I know we haven't heard too much from your perspective, but what were your ideas behind such an iconic painting?
As an altar boy, I was confused by the idea of a Holy Virgin Mary giving birth to a young boy. Now, when I go to the National Gallery and see paintings of the Virgin Mary, I see how sexually charged they are. Mine is simply a hip hop version.
That's definitely a way to revamp old master paintings. I understand it has made many people angry, but as a creative individual, you're not inclined to always create pieces for other people's satisfaction. For you personally, how does your artwork speak to you?
With the psychedelic patterning, bright colors, and textured surfaces, my work expresses my desire to get as deeply lost as possible in both the process of painting and the painting itself.
That's put very beautifully. Thank you, Chris, for being here, and thank you to the audience for being here as well.
To conclude, many people either loved or hated Chris Ofili's The Holy Virgin Mary. Although there were certainly a large group in favor of what Ofili himself considered to be a modern take on the Holy Virgin Mary paintings of the past, the list of people offended by it expanded well beyond Carol Becker and the mayor of New York City. At one point, an older man named Dennis Heiner was so offended by the painting that he went behind the glass barrier and poured white paint all over the canvas. Luckily, security guards caught the man, and the painting was restored. When defending his actions, Dennis stated that the painting was blasphemous. Looking at the arguments from either side of the controversy, it is clear to see that both have made some significant points. With people planted so firmly on either side of the debate, it is likely that we will never reach a consensus as to whether Chris Ofili's The Holy Virgin Mary is definitively good or bad. Ultimately, it's up to the viewers to interpret the painting for themselves and make their own judgment.